Prime Minister Modi's Indian government has launched a fierce rebuke against Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. This follows Trudeau's official testimony in front of the Commission of Inquiry that accusations against Indian diplomats concerning the assassination of Khalistani separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar was solely based on intel and that Trudeau nor his agencies had any hard evidence against India.
And at that point, it was primarily intelligence, not hard evidentiary proof.
The Indian Ministry of External Affairs has blasted Trudeau for his cavalier behavior, holding him directly responsible for the drastic deterioration in India-Canada relations. Bizarrely, Trudeau even brought up the involvement of gangster Bishnoi gang. But I'm not surprised. With Trudeau being squeezed hard by his Khalistani associates, tomorrow he may claim India employed Darth Vader as well. Even Canadian media is mocking their own Prime Minister for his bizarre allegations against India without any proof. Trudeau's admission marks a dramatic shift from his previous bold assertions. Just last year, Trudeau had taken the extraordinary step of publicly accusing India of being involved in Nijjar's murder. In the Canadian Parliament, Trudeau claimed to have credible evidence of India's involvement. Yet now, in front of an official commission, Trudeau has shown his true colours by admitting that his government had not provided India with any hard proof. This reversal raises many critical questions. Why would the head of state make such a significant accusation without substantial evidence?
Oh, this guy Trudeau, shut the fuck up, this guy. Does anybody, I mean honest, does anybody...
Was Trudeau under such political pressure from certain extremist groups that he misled his nation and risked Canadian economy by indulging in a diplomatic war with India, soon to be the world's third biggest economy and a 21st century superpower?
The way Trudeau is running it, it scares the shit out of me. I'm like, you guys are sliding into communism.
For India, this vindication comes after months of consistently rejecting the allegations as baseless. The MEA swiftly rubbishing Trudeau's admission, stating, quote, "What we have heard today only confirms what we have been saying consistently all along. Canada has presented us no evidence whatsoever in support of the serious allegations that it had chosen to level against India and Indian diplomats," unquote. The Ministry of External Affairs added that the damage to India-Canada relations can be squarely attributed to just one man, Justin Trudeau. Earlier, India had slammed him for his naked interference in Indian internal affairs. India has taken strong diplomatic measures, including expelling 6 Canadian diplomats. Additionally, New Delhi announced the withdrawal of its High Commissioner to Canada, Sanjay Kumar Verma. The MEA also accused Trudeau's government of jeopardizing the safety of Indian diplomats stationed in Canada by enabling an atmosphere of hostility. Khalistani separatists have often released videos and posters directly threatening the life of Indian diplomats in Canada, while Indian and Hindu temples have been attacked. At the core of India's anger is Trudeau's allegiance to pro-Khalistani separatist groups. India has long raised the concerns over the activities of Khalistani extremists such as Nijjar, who was designated as a terrorist by India. Nijjar was killed outside a Gurudwara in British Columbia in June 2023, sparking widespread accusations against India from Canadian officials. With his testimony acknowledging the lack of evidence, Trudeau has put himself in a precarious position, with his credibility now being questioned by critics at home and abroad. Even Canadian media and think tanks are slamming Trudeau's handling of the Canadian diplomatic fiasco. An opinion piece published in the National Post accused Trudeau, saying, quote, "Trudeau has allowed diaspora politics to unduly influence foreign policy and failing to crack down on suspected Khalistani extremists living in Canada. India's National Investigation Agency has identified individuals in Canada it accuses of extortion, terrorism, smuggling and money laundering. It has sought their extradition but to no avail. Canada has allowed Sikh extremism to flourish, such as Khalistani parade float that celebrated the assassination of former Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi that toured the streets of Toronto in 2023, unquote. This points to a larger issue with Canadian politics, Trudeau's reluctance to crack down on pro-Khalistan extremists, despite their links to terrorism, including Air India bombing in 1985, which killed 329 people. Daniel Boardman from the National Telegraph was also vocal in his criticism of Trudeau. He claims Trudeau is still stuck in the "trust me bro" phase, a mocking reference to the Prime Minister's inability to back his allegations with hard facts. Boardman added, quote, "This could end up costing Canada billions in trade, all to appease Jagmeet Singh and the gang of Khalistani ministers," unquote. Meanwhile, Jagmeet Singh had to rush away after being mocked at a press conference for suggesting sanctions against Indian diplomats.
What do you make of Indian name when you
He's gone. He's gone.
Farhan Jeffrey, Deputy Director of the Canadian think tank Islamic Theology of Counter-Terrorism, added, quote, "Khalistanis are separatists and they are not shy of acknowledging it. This is not a Modi versus Canada problem. This is an India versus separatist problem. And Trudeau's government is doing everything it can to establish that Canada is on the side of separatists. This is not what allies do," unquote. Meanwhile, the Indian Modi government has made it clear that it will not tolerate any unfounded allegations and it reserves the right to take further actions if the Trudeau government continues its current approach. Trudeau's political alignment with Khalistani extremists has compromised Canada's foreign policy, and today he is being mocked at home and abroad. With Canadian elections in 2025, the big question remains, will Trudeau survive this diplomatic war with India? Leave a comment with your opinion and subscribe to Inconnect News for more defense news and geopolitics.